Welcome to another episode of CryptoTV. This is the last one of the year and it is the last week of 2023. I'm Ornella Hernandez and today we have a special show with a special guest, so you don't want to miss it. Throughout 2023, the cryptocurrency industry went through a wave of tech advances and market fluctuations and regulatory changes. A year is a long time in this world. And 2023 had all the ingredients of a soap opera, from corporate rivalries to bankruptcies to court dramas and villains facing jail time. So today, we're going to review the 10 most important, impactful milestones and moments and events that happened in the Web3 and crypto industry this year, or at least the ones that I want to highlight. Let's start. In February, a revolutionary development was achieved in the form of Bitcoin ordinals, allowing users to create NFT-like content directly on-chain on Bitcoin. Creators write data on individual Satoshis, which are the smallest unit of a Bitcoin block. And this is unlike traditional NFTs on other blockchains like Ethereum or Solana or Polygon, which sometimes have off-chain data storage. Not all collections, some are on-chain, but most of them are off-chain. And that is why ordinals are considered more special. But at the same time, there are a lot of critics who are Bitcoin maxis who believe that Bitcoin should not be programmable or anything other than a store of value. Then in March, 3 banks collapsed, Silvergate and Signature Bank, which were the 2 main banks for cryptocurrency companies, and Silicon Valley Bank, which had many cryptocurrency companies and venture capital funds as clients. In fact, almost half of all startups in the United States were backed by investment funds that kept money in Silicon Valley Bank. This included crypto-loving VCs and some digital asset firms as well. Although cryptocurrency prices rose after the federal government stepped in to support the depositors at 2 of the banks, the events caused a lot of instability within the stablecoin market. So USDC, which is the second most liquid stablecoin in US dollars after USDT, lost its peg to the dollar, falling below 87 cents at one point after its issuer, Circle, admitted to having $3.3 billion deposited in SVB. Silicon Valley Bank was acquired by another bank, First Citizens Bank, while Silvergate and Signature shut down. Then in April, the European Union passed a landmark regulation, a law called the Markets in Crypto Assets, or MiCA, setting a precedent for crypto regulations worldwide. The objective of MiCA is to provide a standardized regulatory framework for crypto and digital assets with the idea of protecting investors and stabilizing the markets. So on April 20, 2023, the European Union Parliament approved the legislation, but nothing was signed until June. And then the law doesn't actually come into force until next year in 2024. The law was actually first presented in 2020, and it took a long time for it to be approved. I don't know why these things take so long, but MiCA is important not only because it establishes a framework for the regulation of digital assets in all member states of the EU, but it sets an example for the entire sector at a time when people want clear rules and regulations. And the month of June was marked by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC's pursuit of large US crypto exchanges like Binance US and Coinbase in the United States. This regulatory pressure reflected the agency's commitment to lump in crypto companies with traditional financial ones and subject them to the same regulations. So Coinbase sued them back and the case is still ongoing. But in the case of Binance, we already know that its former leader, Changpeng Zhao, or CZ as they call him, entered into a plea deal agreeing to pay $4 billion for violating anti-money laundering laws. And then in July, the SEC lost a case against Ripple. In relation to its native XRP token, the judge ruled that while Ripple violated federal security laws by selling XRP to institutional investors directly, the sales of XRP on public exchanges, on the other hand, were not unregistered securities offerings. The thing is that the SEC considers all cryptocurrencies, except Bitcoin, to be securities. So the crypto industry saw this as a major win, a big victory, given that Ripple had been under investigation since 2020, so almost 3 years. The SEC also ended up dropping lawsuits against Ripple CEO and its co-founder a few months later, another win. And then in the same month, Sam Altman, who is the leader of the artificial intelligence company OpenAI, that has had its fair share of problems recently, launched WorldCoin. This initiative aimed to address the income inequality through its unique World ID feature, and I'm including it here because I signed up for WorldCoin. So if you haven't seen the video of this yet, please go now on our page, Web3 TV. Now, OpenAI was recently under fire when Altman was ousted, and then he returned to the company all within a week. Next, in August, in addition to being my birthday month, the digital payments company PayPal launched its own stablecoin in August, reinforcing its commitment to integrating crypto into its mainstream payment system. The US dollar-pegged stablecoin called PayPal USD, or PYUSD, allows customers to transfer the stablecoin between digital wallets, to send peer-to-peer payments, make online purchases, and convert any of PayPal's supported crypto to and from PayPal USD. And for all of this, PayPal decided to partner with the company Paxos. And this is pretty significant because PayPal has over 400 million users. So for consumers who don't yet use any stablecoins, PYUSD is probably the easiest one to access, especially if you're one of the many people with a PayPal account. So basically, it just becomes easier for people to experiment with crypto. But we have yet to see how PYUSD will stack up against other stablecoins like USDC or USDT. And in September, it was an important month for NFT lovers, specifically for the Pudgy Penguins community, one of the most valued NFT collections at the moment. In September, they launched their penguin toy collection in 2,000 Walmart stores in the US, and this is huge because each one of these penguin plushie toys comes with an NFT certificate that will be used to claim rewards in the metaverse or the virtual world of Pudgy Penguins. And the idea of this move, that's not only for kids but for adult collectors like myself, is to create more benefits and utility for our NFTs and the Web3 world in general. And the fact that they're in Walmart is huge because it is a major shopping department in the US. And hey, I actually own a Lil Pudgy Penguin, which is a sister collection of Pudgy Penguins, so that's why I'm a big fan of this collection. And then in October, I was glued to the news all month with the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried, who for some time ran one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges, FTX. He was found guilty of fraud and money laundering at the end of a month-long trial in New York City. He now faces decades of prison following the guilty verdict. The 31-year-old Bankman-Fried charges were wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud against FTX customers and Alameda Research lenders, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, and conspiracy to commit commodities fraud against FTX investors, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Lots of charges, and he never pled guilty. He maintained that he was innocent the entire time. The prosecution's key witnesses were former FTX members, so those of his inner circle, and his closest friends, supposedly, including his ex-girlfriend. The verdict was given during the first week of November and only in a matter of hours, so they knew he was guilty without any doubt. But sentencing will take place in March 2024 for SBF. And in November, the Binance case followed that of FTX's with the resignation of its CEO, Changpeng Zhao, or CZ. And I remind you that the case was the SEC against the activity of Binance US, which operated as a subsidiary of the exchange only for users in the United States. And that is why the settlement allowed Binance to survive, but with another CEO named Richard Tang, who was an employee inside of the company. And Zhao, who will be sentenced in February 2024, will most likely get jail time. He is currently in the United States and will have to stay there until the trial next year. His family lives in Dubai, though, in the United Arab Emirates, so we'll see what happens until then. And last but not least, number 10, during this month of December, we saw the peak price of Bitcoin this year. Of course, it doesn't match the historical maximum price, which was $68,000 in November 2021. But it is a bullish sign and a positive start for the new year. And now to comment on all this and on all of his highs for 2023, we have a special guest joining me, so don't go away. Our special guest on CryptoTV today on our last episode of the year is Adel Bhurtun, who is the founder of the podcast Traders Brawl and another host on Web3 TV. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me, Ornella. It's such a pleasure.
I'm good. I'm happy that you were able to join me today for this special episode. And I wanted to get your take on a lot of the things that I just mentioned. So some of the biggest moments, events that happened in 2023. To see what you thought maybe was the most important for you as well, personally, and just do a little highlight recap of 2023.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me, and thank you to Web3 TV. I am a host and founder of Traders Brawl. I'm also a host on this show. And for me personally, it's been a crazy journey for this year, 2023, especially because we had in March, I think it was March, we had like banks fail.
Yes.
You heard about the
Silvergate, Silicon Valley Bank.
Right.
Signature Bank, yep.
Those caused quite turmoil in the market because, those were crypto-based banks that were meant to be supporting crypto and yet, and early stage startups. But unfortunately, they did fail, and that did cause some downturns in the market, didn't it?
Did you have any stake in that?
No, thank God I didn't. Thank God, no. But then one of the highlights as well, I'll fast forward to when the Ripple case won against the SEC lawsuit.
Yeah, I think that was a big victory. It's not over yet, but it's still a big win and big step forward, I think, for the crypto industry.
Yes, definitely. And right off the back of that, personally, one of the events for me personally, we got the chance to go to Ripple Swell.
That's right, in Dubai.
Right.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, it was great. I got to meet Brad Garlinghouse.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to meet him. I heard him on stage, and I thought he spoke very well. He gave some good advice, or what did he say, like, the things that keep me up at night is the fact that we still don't have clear regulation on things.
Right.
I remember one time I heard him in Miami many years ago, and he said, this was back 2021, back when things were still hot and heavy with the SEC. And he was like, whatever you do, just don't start a crypto company in the US, guys. You don't want to go through what I'm going through.
That's true.
So he's an honest guy.
Definitely. And another highlight for me personally as well, for the Traders Brawl brand, was I got to go this was in September for me. I got to visit Malaysia. Mm-hmm. I went to KL, the capital. This was around Token 2049 period. I got to meet the Pudgy Penguins team.
Oh, cool. You met Luca Netz?
I met Luca Netz. I met some of the other members who were with him. There was a Pudgy Penguin, it was called Pudgy Boleh.
Okay.
Boleh in Malaysian means can. So boleh, tidak boleh means cannot.
Oh, okay.
And boleh, B-O-L-E-H, so boleh means can. So it was just a poster, and then it was a rug radio show, so he was on a panel, and I got to go and meet him and take pictures with him. But not only that, the same day, we went on a go-karting trip, all of us.
That's so fun.
I got to go-kart with Luca.
Okay, that's fun. I want to meet him.
I hope he'll forgive me for crashing into him, though.
Dude, is he okay?
No, it's fine. It's full of bumpers and everything, but I did crash into him.
Oh, that's fun. That's such a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little Pudgy, part
great.
of the Pudgy Penguins group. But I haven't been able to go to any of their activations or trips like that. So hopefully in 2024 I will be able to. Do you have any NFTs?
I do have NFTs. I have one Jimbro NFT. It's funny, the name Jimbro. It's an NFT that allows you to. It's I think New Zealand or Australian brand. and you get discounts on gym equipment, on gym supplements and stuff like that. Also, they have a gym in their country, so you're able to use that. But it's part of the community, and it's still within the $100 to $200 mark, so it's not so expensive. Okay. There's only 10,000 in the world right now. I'm passionate about gym, as you probably know.
You would consider yourself a gym bro?
You could say that, yeah.
Okay, and then I know that your podcast, Traders Brawl, also combines the topics of fitness and Web3 at the same time. So what is the connection there? What's the link?
Right, I love this question. So I've seen many different podcasts. I've listened to many on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and I find that no one is actually doing something on a lifestyle that incorporates fitness with financial freedom. So the idea of being rich and ripped at the same time, or healthy and wealthy as well. I'm not saying that I am, far from it. However, I think there's an ambition or a goal to strive towards that, the healthiest and happiest form of being alive, where you're free, and you want to be financially free. You also want to be health free, healthy in terms of like no need for being in the hospital and treatment and things like that. So you live well and look good too at the same time. And that's what I aim to achieve, inviting guests who can offer wisdom on how to maintain a work-life balance.
Okay.
While also talking about the next evolution of the internet.
Okay, I love that. So then, but how did you get into this world specifically of blockchain, crypto, Web3? What kind of sparked your interest in that?
Yes, let's get into my background. So before coming to Dubai, I was in London for 13 years, and I worked for the regulator, the UK regulator. So they're the regulatory watchdog, like they're the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority. They are the equivalent of the SEC in America. And that gave me great exposure because you saw everything from a legal perspective, from a regulatory perspective, from a regulatory obligation perspective, from a financial forecast perspective, from an interview perspective. I would also interview some of these applicants trying to apply to get their foot in through the door and operate in the country. So I had a lot of power and oversight over them, and that gave me an exposure to ask questions, know about them, and I was doing authorizations for EMI, so which is called Electronic Money Institutions, and that included cryptocurrency, crypto assets, and exchanges. So that gave me an insight initially.
Oh, so you were on the other side.
I was on the
regulatory side.
I was the policeman.
Oh, yeah. Wow. And then what? You wanted to be a degen, or?
You know what? The reason, and they're probably gonna kill me in the comments if they see this, but I felt kind of pigeonholed. Okay. I felt like this was a very clerk job, and there's so much more potential. I believe that wasn't being able to be released because. In order to even speak, you would have to get so many approvals.
Yeah, it's very bureaucratic, I can imagine.
Very, and so many sign-offs needed. Yeah. Even to go to an event, you would need, what's your reason for that? What's the purpose? And you would have to fill out a form and all these things, and it would have to be approved. And I felt so pigeonholed as well, because as much as I am doing the behind-the-scenes work, no one actually sees that on the outside. So I felt like I could stay here and just work my way up the corporate ladder. Okay. Or I could sacrifice pay and pension.
Well, but you moved to Dubai after a decade or so in London, you said?
Yes.
You wanted to get out of the rainy, cloudy weather for sunny
Don't remind
Dubai.
me. Don't remind me.
Why that change?
So actually, I did take a gap year, and while I was on a gap year after leaving, I did visit Dubai, and when I was there, I signed up to multiple events on Eventbrite, on Meetup, and I just went to them, and I just saw the energy, I saw the friendliness, I saw the people, and I'm like, look how free I am. I can just go from event to event to event, 3, 4 in one day.
I know, there's too many in Dubai, I think.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Tell me which one was the highlight of your year, event-wise, in Dubai.
I would say the most degen one would be the Pudgy Penguins one, because that was around the time where they launched in Walmart. right? They launched their
Right.
collection around 2,000 Walmart stores.
But that was in Malaysia, you said,
That
right?
was in Malaysia.
Okay,
for
what
this year.
about in Dubai or in the UAE?
Okay, sorry. So in the UAE, I would definitely say the most corporate one would be XRP's Ripple, because I felt Ripple Swell was really good in terms of the lineup of speakers, the presentation, the overall everything. That was one. And then I think also, if not this year, I will just mention this anyway. Last year, Algorand, the Decipher Algorand was huge, and I think probably still the best for me.
Really? Why? Why was it different than all the million other ones that we go to?
So, okay, this was a 3-day event at the Madinat Jumeirah, so same place as Ripple.
Yeah.
All right, so same level there. And 3 days of, oh my God, buffet, pitches and speakerships.
I love how the first thing you said was food.
I know. But then hold on. Every night after night after night was open bar. Not that I drink or anything, but
food and drink is important.
Pretty important.
Yeah.
Lineup was really good and very, very professional too.
Of the speakers?
But every day was like unlimited everything. I felt so spoiled. For 3 days. I don't know how much they spent. And Ripple Swell was, I think 2 days?
It was 2 days, but it was smaller, I think.
Smaller.
It was less people, invite only. Yeah.
Right. And they so Decipher had 3 days, but they had their pre, which is like what Ripple also had, and then they had their post, which was like the after party. And it was just 3 days of just like, I'm tired, but I'm still here. And that was amazing for me.
Okay, I gotta go to that next year, I guess.
But back to Dubai, I would say after Malaysia, I would say that, and after Ripple, the next biggest, best one for me personally was Future Blockchain Summit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right.
That for me was a big deal just because Web3 TV had a partnership with them. So we had a booth. We were there all 4 days, like all day.
Yes.
We spoke to so many people. It was also quite exhausting, but it was really fun. I think I definitely tested my abilities to withstand that much time as an interviewer. So that was cool. I also moderated a stage, met a lot of people, so I had a great time.
Absolutely. You were great. I know you were interview after interview after interview. We had so much demand in our booth. It was really amazing. People wanted to get interviews, and wow, I feel for our team for all the editing efforts they put into this.
Yes, it was a team effort for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people behind all the work that we put on screen, so that was really cool to see it all come together and have us work together as a team.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then that was part of DITEX Week. So in addition to the Future Blockchain Summit, there were many other events going on simultaneously. I don't know if you got to go to any other parties or stuff.
There was a few after parties. There was the 1 inch, if you heard about that.
Yeah.
I went to that one. It was clashing with other after party people as well. Yeah, so I just chose one and stuck to it. I didn't go to any others. There was also Chain Up. They had theirs at the 3BK at Armani, so that happened.
So many people were in town that week. Traffic was mad. Mad.
We've got to talk about Token 2049 for next year as well at some point.
Oh, right, because that's going to be here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
And if you guys haven't seen our coverage of Future Blockchain Summit and GITEX on Web3 TV, please go check it out, as well as Adel's coverage on Traders Brawl. Don't forget.
Yes. I will also mention another highlight. I don't know if this is a good positive highlight or not, but still a highlight for the year was the resignation of CZ.
Okay, let's talk about it. Do you think Binance can ever be the same without CZ?
Oh my God, this is definitely. Look, Binance reinstated a new CEO. And this meant that despite the fact that Binance was fined for money laundering, and he had to pay a fine, and Binance had to pay a fine, at least we know that if the SEC wanted to kill Binance, they could have, but they didn't.
Well, they only they targeted Binance US, because that's who they have jurisdiction over, and then CZ.
Correct.
They couldn't really touch
as in
the global.
Binance US is still operating. If they wanted to kill Binance US in general, if they wanted to like kill the
they would have
model,
shut it down.
They would have shut it down. But
Yeah.
it looks like they just fined him for money laundering, but they didn't kill the business model. So it shows that Binance is here to stay.
Yeah, but
and that
would you
means-
still use Binance US? I wouldn't.
That's a personal, that's a tough one to crack. I will say that. It's a tough one to crack. Probably I would just use it if no other exchanges are accepting whatever
Yeah.
currency I want to get. I just want to in and out.
Right.
Use Binance to collect the money and then send it immediately out.
Okay.
Okay, but if they're restricting withdrawals, no. But the fact that they reinstated a new CEO and the SEC are aware of it, Binance is still here to stay. It remains unseen and to be addressed what comes next. But like, if Binance is here to stay, Binance US, then crypto is here to stay.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so too.
Yes.
All right, and then I do want to ask, what was your favorite interview? So, the favorite conversation or one of the top conversations that you had this year, whether it was at an event or a guest on your podcast.
I will say my favorite one so far. Wow, that's a good question. It's a really good question. I've had 8 so far with Web3 TV on my show, and each one of them is different for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat the same thing. But looking back, I will say the one that's most applicable to me, I will say, is Rasmus. It was with Rasmus because he really demonstrated to me a work-life balance. He's in music production. He's in the gym. He says he goes to the gym at least every day.
He says?
He says, but he even showed off his six-pack on my show. And so not only a music producer / I believe DJ, gym freak, and then also NFT investor. I'm like, wow, 3 in 1? You've nailed this.
Yeah. That's it.
So
He's
really,
able to balance all that.
I don't know how he does it. He's also got a relationship, so I don't know. He's probably planning to have kids. He's in his early 30s. Like, wow, and he looks good.
So he was like inspiring to you.
To me, yes.
Yeah.
It was. So I would say it was him. And then if I can extend this and say the most inspiring in terms of like career, I will say Jamil Shinawi, who's also founder and CEO of, he's co-founder of Ahoy, which is a SaaS platform, and he's also founder of a Dubai-based community called 2469. It's a founders community. I got a lot of knowledge from him as well. I was like, this is your 24th business. 24th business.
Oh,
I'm
serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like,
okay.
sir, do you take any drugs? So, yeah.
What did he say?
Well, define drugs.
Is that what his answer was?
No, more like, so he mentioned that he uses nootropics.
Oh, okay.
So mushrooms.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are adaptogens.
Right.
Those
right.
Yeah.
And they stimulate
brain function.
cognitive functioning. So it really does help, and it's a better alternative than coffee.
Yeah.
And caffeine effects. So he mentioned that, and it was like he was very open about it. He was also very open about he's very humble. He's very open about saying he's not the best father in the world. And wow, thank you for admitting that on camera.
People have faults.
No one's perfect. So I felt I really connected with him. Showing your vulnerable side, not just I'm this, I'm that, I'm always successful. No.
Right.
So
No, I think that's good. That's good.
was
It shows
touching.
more of a real side.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say probably the total opposite of you of the types of people that you spoke to, but I spoke to a robot.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So nothing real about that, but it definitely was the standout interview for me this year. Her name is Desdemona, and she was built to be a pop star. So she sings and dances.
Right.
But she's AI. She's a robot. She's not real.
Right.
But you can talk to her as if she is real. She just, you ask a question, she takes maybe a couple seconds to process, and then she responds in a very coherent way, as long as she's plugged in and not she's like cooled off because she can get overheated easily. If like that happened during the interview, there were like too many lights. We had to wait a bit. But anyways, that was a very interesting experience. It was weird, it was creepy, but it was very memorable.
Right, I saw that. I saw some highlights of it it was at the Cardano Summit.
It was the Cardano Summit in Dubai.
It was so cool. You were like handing the mic to the robot.
Yeah, actually the mic was like in her chest.
Oh, right.
So I had to hold it low.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was thanks to Singularity Net.
Can you just imagine what's next to come? If this is happening now, like what's next to come?
I don't know. I don't want to be honest, I don't want to imagine a future that's like full of humanoids. That's the name. It's a robot that resembles a humanoid.
And being unable to tell the difference.
I mean, you can tell.
Right now. Imagine one day you won't be able to tell if you're talking to one.
I don't know about that. Maybe not in my lifetime.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but that was definitely interesting for me. And just being on the show and hosting so many different people from all walks of life and trying to make the industry better. That was really fun for me as well.
Really well. Wow.
Yeah.
Same here.
So what are you looking forward to for 2024?
So
Any resolutions that you have?
I have a few indeed. So I do, given that we've seen the rise of Bitcoin right now, the prices have gone to reaching 43K. It already crossed the 40K mark. So sea of green happening right here. It looks like we're on, if not already the bull run, we're on the pathway of getting there.
Yeah.
So in 2024, I'm looking forward to the Bitcoin halving.
Okay.
Definitely.
That'll be around April, right?
April time, that's correct. I'm also looking forward to, I think MiCA, Markets and Crypto Act, is also going to be fully in operation.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier. I can't believe it took so long to get that like approved, signed, and then to actually go into effect, it's another year.
Yeah, that too. But I'm also kind of afraid of Elizabeth Warren and her army of crypto.
She called it an army, right?
Yeah, she called it her army. And trying to build an army and trying to pass a law that would make banks, crypto asset providers having to give up a lot of their power.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think none of her bills get passed. Actually,
let's pray. Yeah.
So,
but still, the fact that she has support, and the fact that she's passing this means she has support of the people, or some, means that still like we have those pressures to deal with, and that's going to be a challenge going forward. But as far as Bitcoin adoption, it's there. Bitcoin spot ETF. I'm banking on that. That's gonna get passed.
What about Ethereum ETF? Ether ETF?
That too, eventually. So one sets the precedence, and then the rest follow.
Yeah.
As Bitcoin is king as we know it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to Token 2049 in Dubai.
And we're running out of time, so before we sign off, if you could just tell everyone what's the best way to get in touch with you and to learn more about Traders Brawl and watch the podcast.
Sure. So to those watching, if you just type in Traders Brawl on Google, you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook as well. I'm available to be connected with on any of these platforms. I'm here to educate about this space. I want us to unite against CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, unite against Elizabeth Warren's army. We're here for Bitcoin adoption. So reach out to me if you'd like to be interviewed and you have a project going on in Web3 or in fitness or in both. And I'd love to have you on the show. So thank you.
All right, and thank you, Adel, for coming on this end of the year episode, and can't wait for more adventures in 2024.
Thank you very much for having me.
And everyone, please stay tuned for the rest of CryptoTV.
In the crypto market, BTC's price is at $42,809. Ether is trading at $2,381 today. Chainlink's Link is up today, trading currently at $16.80. And Optimism's OP is up by 65% this week with a price of $3.80.
And with this summary, we close the show and this year of programming on CryptoTV and Web3 TV. As always, thank you for tuning in, and please remember to leave a comment with your opinions and if you have any ideas for this show for 2024. See you guys next year.